So, The Miracle of Mourning by Amanda Gorman. I thought I'd awaken to the world in mourning, heavy clouds crowding, a society storming. Let me just back up. I can't do service to anything she says like she can do service. So, just bear with me, okay? Imagine her like, channel the inner her instead of me. I'll start again. The Miracle of Mourning. I thought I'd awaken to a world in mourning, heavy clouds crowding, a society storming. But there's something different on this golden morning, something magical in the sunlight, wide and warming. I see a dad with a stroller taking a jog. Across the street, a bright-eyed girl chases her dog. A grandma on a porch fingering her rosaries. She grins as her young neighbor brings her groceries. While we might feel small, separate, and all alone, our people have never been more closely tethered. The question isn't if we will weather this unknown, but how we will weather this unknown together. So on this meaningful morn, we mourn and we mend. Like light, we can't be broken even when we bend. As one, we will defeat both despair and disease. We stand with healthcare heroes and all employees, with families, libraries, schools, waiters, artists, businesses, restaurants, and hospitals hit hardest. We ignite not in the light, but in lack thereof. For it is in loss that we truly learn to love. In this chaos, we will discover clarity. In suffering, we must find solidarity. For it's our grief that gives us gratitude, shows us how to find hope if we ever lose it. So ensure that this ache wasn't endured in vain. Do not ignore the pain. Give it purpose, use it. Read children's books, dance alone to DJ music. Know that this distance will make our hearts grow fonder. From a wave of woes, our world will emerge stronger. We'll observe how the burdens braved by humankind are also the moments that make us humans kind. Let every day find us courageous, brought closer, heeding the light before the fight is over. When this ends, we'll smile sweetly, finally seeing in testing times we became the best of beings. All right, so steep in some hope, just steep in some hope. Close your eyes and meditate on the way it feels in your body. Know the deep work that needs to be done in our world on so many levels, and let hope feed you the energy you need for this task. All right, so let's rest the eyes. Come into the softness of your face. Relax your shoulders. Feel a sense of grace in your body. Can you feel your skin soften? Can you feel your breath coming into big open spaces? Drop some weight down into the pelvis. Feel your grounding. Feel your connection. Can you let the belly be super soft as you breathe in? Let that energy drop to the earth. And as you exhale, a little effort for your core, just a bit, to support that upward movement of the spine. Remember these currents in the body of the downward energy and the upward energy, the vayus of the body. See if you can find harmony and balance in those forces. Notice how you're breathing. Is it steady? Is it smooth? And as you bring your hands together at your heart, close your eyes and bow in. And in this gesture, offer deep gratitude for a peaceful transfer of power, for all the powers in the world that are helped to make this transition happen smoothly, and for the breath out that collectively many, many people around the globe are feeling today. And then also gratitude for our capacities, no matter where your sentiments lie in these regards, the capacities to make a difference. You, yourself, me, myself, all of us as individuals. Can you commit to something? Is there a small little piece, a drop that you can put in the bucket of making the world a better place? Let's release the hands and come onto your back. So sometimes I think that the flip side of hope, if you flip that coin, it's gratitude, right? If we have gratitude, we are more likely to cultivate hope. If we have hope, we are more likely to cultivate gratitude. So let's just feel those two sides feed each other. Open up your body. Stretch, maybe reach your arms up overhead, one side a little longer, the other side a little bit longer, and feel the open rims. Breathe. Let your breath be loud. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Try not to shy away from the depth of your breathing. And then let's bring our knees into our chest, and let's go ahead and rock from side to side. Feeling that sense of comfort that rocking provides, but also the awareness in the back body. What are you feeling? All right, and then circle a couple times. Feel your sacroiliac joints. Come into a sense of knowing what your hips are, what's happening in your hips, your joints today, your SI joints today, your low back. And then right knee into the chest, stretch the left leg long, feel that deep compression. And then interlace your fingers behind your hamstring and flex your foot, your toes toward your face. So heel up, just start to wake up the foot. So flex and point your toe up in the air a little bit. Maybe do some circles with your ankle. Just wake up some of the fascia and tendons and ligaments and muscles. Get some blood flow. And then return, knee hugging into the chest and change sides. Left knee into the chest, the long spine lengthens. And then feel a sense of hooking the other way. So your interclasp of your hands is the unusual way now. And stretch up through your foot, root down through your hip. Find those opposing actions, extend the spine. And once you're ready, you can start flexing and pointing your toes here. And it doesn't have to just stay in flexion and extension. You can do some rolling of your ankle, wiggle out your toes, get your feet alive and awake. All right, and then two legs straight up in the air, hold behind your legs, flex and point your toes here. You can do the point too. You're kind of have point your toes, flex your feet, kind of move your feet separately, not just in one unit. And then knees back into your chest and open your knees wide out to the sides. And then pause there for a moment. Find a spot where your hip joints are at their most capacity right now, anyway, to open up into abduction. And then relax. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh and draw your knees in.
And if it feels good, feel free to rock a little bit, move a little bit. Breathing well, warming up the hip just a smidge. Unwind and recross other way. Left leg on top of right, left thigh on top of right. Feel the knees draw in. Feel free to move around any way you need to kind of let the pose find its way into your hip. All right, and then stretch your limbs. Take a deep breath, open your body out, wiggle your fingers and your toes, say hello to the edges, and then exhale, knees into your chest. Big hug in, tuck your chin toward your chest. Couple more times with the breath. Expand your body out, stretch from navel to edges, enjoy the space. Exhale and enjoy the compression. One more time. Big breath, open ribs. Exhale. Draw it in. All right, hands come down onto the ground. Feet come onto the ground. And go ahead and just rock left and right, getting the hips and the back and the spine to start feeling some movement. And then we're going to turn this into a bigger twist. Roll over onto your right side. Stack everything, palm over palm, knee over knee. Everything's at right angles. Take a deep breath. Open up your arms. Stretch across your chest. Maybe your hand reaches the floor. Maybe it doesn't. Come back on your exhale. Hands, palms touching each other. Knees stay connected. Open up your chest. Feel this across your pecs. And then exhale and close back up. One more time. You can always put a blanket under your head if it feels weird to have your head on the ground. Exhale and release. And we're just going to roll everything right over to the other side. Find those right angles. So the arms are right out from the shoulders, knees right out from the hips, ankles right out from the knees. Take a deep breath. Open up your chest. And then exhale and come back. Inhale, open your chest up. Exhale and come back. One more time. All right, come back onto your back. Renew your spine from the twisting. Grab onto your feet, happy baby pose. Maybe some rocking, maybe some stillness. Just see what your back needs. And then open one last time before we move. Starfish your body open, deep breath. Exhale, knees into the chest, head up, and roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. So as you find your way onto all fours, let's start moving through the spine. Now continuing the warm-up, feeling the spine open. Take notice. How is your spine today? Are there any nooks that are having trouble opening? Can you bring your breath into anywhere that it's needed? Try to sync your breath with movement. Stay connected with breath. Do you want your eyes open or shut? What gives you the best capacity to feel on the inside, to be present with what is? And then curl the toes under and turn this right up into dog pose. Hopefully your feet are a little awake already. Feel free to pedal your knees, dropping one heel down and then the other, whatever feels good. You can feel to lift one hip and sway a knee in toward the midline, maybe dropping a shoulder, maybe moving your head around. Just find your way. Maybe kneading the floor like a cat with your hands or your feet so that you feel that sense of connection with the earth. Experiment and explore your present moment, body, mind in this pose. Find your breath. Relax any tension through the base of the skull. Hug your hands toward each other on the mat. Feel the lats and the serratus in your side bodies work a bit. Try not to collapse the shoulders. All right, walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Fold a little bit. Wag your tail. Roll around in your shoulders. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine is growing. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet. Rise up, bringing the arms up to the sky. Open your chest.
Lean back a little bit. How supportive can you be in this? Can you stabilize through your core? Soft knees, yielding and opening. And then exhale and bring your arms down. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open the chest, bend your knees, come forward, stretching the fronts of your deltoids. Relax your neck. Find your breath again. And then release your hands. Grab onto your elbows. Have just a teeny bit of a tug on the elbows so you feel your ribs move away from your pelvis, kind of shimmy them away from the pelvis. Bend your knees as much as you want. Let your neck soften. Feel those side bodies open. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step left foot back, right foot's forward on a lunge. Blocks are nice if you have them. All right, feel the heart open. Place your knee down onto the ground. Open the chest. Feel the hip flexors expand on the front of your body and breathe. See if you can breathe right into the sensation you feel in the front of your pelvis, the front of your hip. All right, lift that back knee off the ground and let's go ahead and open and close a little bit. So bending the front knee and straightening the front knee a little bit, moving the chin toward the chest, maybe even the toes come up off the ground as you straighten the leg. All right, stand up on that right foot, come into half splits. Feel your glutes in the air start to really kick into gear, the hamstrings too. Square up the hips as best as you can. Inner spiral the thigh in the air. Feel the growing length of your spine. Can you root all the way back to your foot? Extend the heart. Great. Go ahead and place that left foot down next to the right. Fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt again. Block between your thighs if you need it for chair pose. Squat down. If you have a knee that's a little vulnerable, I know there's a bunch of you in here with some vulnerable knees. A block between your thighs can make a big difference in helping you utilize a lot of muscles in your thighs so that you're supporting that knee joint. Okay? Remember, you have inner quads, you have inner thighs that can help. It's not just the outer bigger quads that we feel often. Okay, so find your way up. If you are able to, stretch the arms overhead. Of course, if your shoulder can't do that, then be in a different position. But if it's available to you, bring your arms up and feel the work start in the back of your body. Can you move the ribs in so you're not just pushing, you're knitting a little bit, knitting the rib cage in, not enough where you're rounding the back, but enough where you're not popping the ribs out. Draw the knees back toward the pelvis, weight a little bit more in the heels than the toes. Relax the base of the skull. Slide the shoulder blades down the back a bit. And then stand on up. Take a deep breath. Open the heart. Lean back a little bit if it feels good. Exhale, separate your feet. Get rid of the block if you're using it. Fold in half. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Left foot is forward. Right foot is coming back now. Open the heart. Root into the feet. Let's place our back knee down onto the ground. Feel the stretch through the hip flexors of that back leg. Decide whether you want your toes curled under or your foot lying flat. Find the breath and bring it into the front, into your psoas muscle, into the front of your hip. Try not to lose sight of what's happening in the rest of your body. So hug to the midline with your inner thighs. Feel the chest lift and broaden. Stay with the rhythm of your breath. Try not to hold the breath. Curl the toe back under. Two legs are moving now, so we're tucking the chin as we straighten our leg, lifting the heart as we bend our knee. Decide where your breath goes in that rhythm. All right, hop up, come onto one leg. So standing on your left leg, right leg out in the air. Reach your heart forward. Find the breath here. Move into the earth with your feet. Find the vayus. Can you move down? Can you move out? Can you move up? Can you find that yielding is a combination of all of that, where we give to the earth and we receive? Is your glute in the air working? Is your glute on the ground working? All right, and then go ahead and place that foot back down onto the ground. Halfway lift, melt back down. Push off your feet, rise up, bring your arms. Always, if you're dizzy, you can make a pause. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and stretch up and over. If your shoulder doesn't allow for this, you can do this with your hands on your hips too. Get as much in the side body as you can to open things up. Okay, come back and find the other way. Open the side of your body. Inner spiral the thighs. Soften the base of your skull. Feel the reach through the side of your body. How's your breath? All right, come back up. This time, cactus your arms actively. So imagine pulling down on or pulling yourself up on a pull-up bar. Find the breath. And then exhale and round the spine in. Inhale, lift your arms up. Back to your pull-up bar. Shoulder blades finding each other. And then round in. One last time. Breathe in, arms up. Exhale. Pull yourself up on that imaginary bar and then pause here for a moment. What happened to the rest of your body? Is your butt sticking out or your ribs sticking out? Can you integrate? Can you feel the bottom tips of your shoulder blades move toward the lumbar spine a little bit, finding those muscles along the vertebrae? Breathing in, arms up one more time, and then exhale and fold. Relax the shoulders, melt, rock around, move the base of your skull, make sure your upper trap didn't take too much of that. Left foot back. Lunging, rising up. Coming into Crescent Lunge. Maybe your arms are somewhere. Where are they? Where do you want them to be? There's no rules. There's only breath. Feel your stability. So whatever's giving you that sense of that downward rooting and the upward rising. Breathe well. And then lean forward. Bring your arms back behind you. Palms are facing the ground. Straight arms without locking. Lift the triceps a little bit higher than the rest of your back. Find your breath. And we're going to move the arms synchronistically. So take a deep breath. Left arm reaches out. Right arm back. And then switch with the breath. And find your breathing body. Feel the muscles along your back. Integrate your core. Just going back and forth with your arms. Find the inner thighs hugging in. See if you can feel the stable legs. Relax the upper traps. Use the middle and lower traps. And then when you're ready, rise back up. Crescent lunge again. Hands down onto the ground. Plank pose. Hold steady here. Remember, everything can be modified. Everything can be adjusted. Everything can be sped up or slowed down. Breathing. All right, come down to the ground. Gentle cobra pose. Feel the back body work a bit. Exhale and relax. Integrate the core. Find your breath. Arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Everything's going to lift up. Legs too. Integrate your core. Try to not let it just be back body, but definitely your back body's working. Exhale and melt. Turn your head one way or the other. Pick up your feet. Relax for a moment. Give yourself over to the earth. Gratitude. Think how happy the earth is with some environmental policies coming into place. So be a little joyful for the earth too. All right, let's go ahead and come back up. Come on to all fours. Have some movement, some swishing and moving around your spine. All right, and then we're going to bring our left foot forward. Our left foot forward, right foot back, finding a lunge. Breathe, lift yourself up, come into crescent lunge on this side. Okay. Remember, your arms go anywhere. Okay. What's giving you breath? Reconnect to the stability. Reconnect to the breath. Reconnect to the spaciousness. Feel the ribs softly moving into the body. And then we're going to bring our torso forward. Arms are back, palms are facing the ground, shoulders moving a bit away from the ears, and feel the back body work. Integrate the core into that. Find the breath. And then let's start to move the arms. Right arm lifts out, left arm back, and then switch. You can move with breath. You can move slower than breath. You can move faster than breath. Can you integrate the front and back body in the work that's here? Try not to forget about your legs. Hug to the midline. And then when you're ready, rise back up and place the hands down, dog pose. Deep breaths here. In and out. Come onto your knees for a moment and walk your hands further out in front of you. Puppy pose, so it's very easy in this pose to collapse the shoulders. So as you come into this posture, see if you can keep a little loft underneath the armpits. So our pelvis is over our knees. We're not dropping back toward our heels. Let the spine find its way toward the floor and lift under the armpits. Breathing well here. All right, and then come back up onto all fours. Have a moment of swishing and swirling and swaying and doing anything you want. Bring your right foot forward, left foot back. You can always have a different choice if this pose is too much for your knee or for any part of your body. We're going to reach back and grab your foot for a twist. And if you can't reach your foot, stand up and just do a quad stretch standing. You can hold on to something so you take the balance out, or you can turn this into a balance pose and stand up and do a quad stretch. Focus more on the quad stretch than the idea of like, what am I doing with balance? So if you're wobbly, hold on to something so you can really dive into the sensation of stretching your quad. Breathe. No matter what you're doing, breathe. If you're in the lunge, hug to the midline with your inner thighs. Try not to let that front knee sprawl out. I know that that's a way to do it sometimes, but for today, stay integrated. Find the breath. And then unwind. Bring your hand back down. If you're standing, just stay standing and switch sides. And let's come back and do the other side if you're on the ground. So left foot is forward, your back knee is resting on the floor. Right hand can come on the ground or on a block. See what kind of height you need. Reach back, pick up your foot, grab onto your foot. And if you can't reach, if this pose, you kind of are here and like, oh, I can't reach, then maybe a strap around your ankle can be a really good way. Try not to fall in this pose where you're collapsing open, collapsing the spine, moving the knee. Hug the knee to the midline, integrate the core, and twist the body. Then find the quad stretch. Lunge forward to find that quad stretch without collapse. How's the breath? Can you open your chest? And then release and relax. Hands down onto the ground. Dog pose. So move in the opposite direction now. Thighs are lifting. Quads are engaging, hamstrings are stretching, glutes are stretching. Find the length of the spine. Breathing deeply. Inhale and lift the right leg up in the air. Stack open the right hip over the left. Find that side body again and breathe into it. And then square the hips. Take a deep breath in, stretch that leg back. Exhale, bring your knee right to the center of your chest and draw in. Use your core. Inhale, bring that leg up and back. This time we're going to bring it forward all the way to a lunge.
Plant your foot down, plant your back heel down as well. Stay low if you want, come high if you want. So Veer Bhadrasana 1, you can be leaning forward with your arms down, palms facing the ground. You can be coming up with your arms up or your arms down. So find the posture that works for your body today. Stay in that grounding, rooted energy with your legs. Feel the rising, the lifting, the open heart. If you're all the way up here with your arms, tip your head back, interlace your fingers, and open your chest. Stabilize through the back leg. Try not to sink into the lumbar spine. Exhale and release. Your hands come back into half splits. I lost my block. Okay. So one more time, finding half splits. Check in with your lumbar spine. Did you just overdo an arch? Do you feel it at all from that Veer 1? Exhale and place your foot down next to the other. Bend a lot. Hold. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. We're going to go backwards through that. So go ahead and stand on your left foot now. Lift your right leg back behind you. Half splits here. Extending through the spine. And we're going to step back. Veer Bhadrasana 1, plant the heel down. Start low. Spine is long. Arms can be forward or back or sides, whatever you want. The crown and the tail are lifting away from each other. And then eventually find your way up. Maybe you're up, maybe you stay forward. So this pose in your lumbar spine can be very compressive, right? So leaning forward a little bit in this posture can be really nice to keep the integration of your spine. Okay, so you don't have to come all the way up, but if you are coming all the way up, ground your feet. Maybe if your arms are up, interlace the other way, tip your head back, open up the ribs, stay rooted in the back foot. Draw the front knee back into the pelvis. Hug to the midline, inner spiral. How is the breath? Hands come down onto the ground. Lift that left leg high in the air. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale. Bring it up. Stack open. Hip over hip. Feel free to bend the knee or straighten the knee. What feels good? Great. And then square the hips back into dog pose. You go. Come forward into a plank. Hold steady here. All right, we're going to put our knees down onto the ground. Find your way to the earth. And you get to decide what kind of back bend you're in the mood for. Okay, so do you want a cobra pose with your arms back, maybe a locust pose, maybe anything. You can even do Dhanurasana if you want to grab your feet and come up into a more full back bend. Whatever feels good. And then melt. Turn your head the other way than we did before. Pick up your feet and rock left and right. Enjoy the rest for a moment. Let your body relax into the earth. All right, let's go ahead and find our way back onto all fours and feel some swivels, some sways, move around, nourish your spine in whatever way it needs nourishing. All right, and then either choose to go back to dog pose or just bring your right foot forward if you're skipping a couple dog poses for lots of reasons. Okay, lift your back knee up off the floor and lunge. We're going to plant the back heel down one more time, coming into your today's variation of Veer Bhadrasana 1, whether that's forward a little bit, so your spine is longer, up, maybe your arms are in all different places, so just find the alignment of the spine and the work of your shoulders that feels best.
And we're gonna find our way into Veer Bhadrasana 3. So hop up onto that foot, extend through the spine, and come into Warrior 3. So you do not have to be parallel to the floor like I am. The pose can be very much just here, where we're just finding that line in the body without arching and breaking the line. So you could be not very deep in the pose, you could be very deep in the pose. Doesn't matter, arms can be overhead, out to the sides, down, integrate the ribs, feel your balance. It's hard to do this pose, so be comfortable in the uncomfortable. Breathe, lots of space between ribs and pelvis. Okay, and then a giant step back. Woo, if you're falling like me, that's all good. Breathe, and then walk your back foot forward. Come into Uttanasana Melt. Relax the base of the skull. Notice if your neck and shoulders are trying to hold you up constantly. See if you can bobble things around and relax. Inhale for a halfway lift. Knees are soft, thighs are back. Exhale and melt. Again. Step your right foot back. Left foot is forward now. Plant the back heel down. Coming up to Veer Bhadrasana 1 in your variation. So many choices. What feels really nice in your spine? What gives you the grounding? What gives you the space? What gives you the capacity to breathe? Okay, and then as you're ready, we're going to lean onto that foot and come into Veer Bhadrasana 3. If you need support, if your balance is all over the place, you can put your hands on a piece of furniture. You can put your foot on a piece of furniture. There's lots of ways to, or a wall. There's lots of ways to support yourself in this posture. The ribs integrate. There's space between the ribs and the pelvis. Use your core. Relax your shoulders. Stay in the presence of your breath. Stay in the work of your glutes. All right, and then when you're ready, find your foot coming back down to the earth and fold again. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, melt. Come up to stand and pause here for a moment. We're moving quickly, so just take a moment to ground yourself, root yourself. Open the chest, so turn your palms out just a bit. So it may feel a little uncomfortable if you're used to kind of collapsing the shoulders in. Feel what it feels like to kind of rest the shoulder blades on the shelf where they're not drooping or sliding or rolling forward. Suspend them, hug them toward the spine or toward the ribs just a bit. Not enough where you're locking anything, but just enough to feel that there's support. The back body is supportive. How is your breath here? Are you belly breathing? Are you able to release the diaphragm in movement? Are your knees soft and unlocked? Can you feel the grounding? Can you feel the rising? Let's find our way into the weight of our right foot. We're going to pick up our left foot and grab onto your foot behind you. If you can't reach into this quad stretch, always know that there's a strap available to wrap around the front of your ankle. It's very easy to just lock out your standing knee, so unlock that knee. Try not to come off to the side like this. See what it feels like to drop the knee toward the earth. If balance is an issue, hold something, touch a wall in front of you. Find your way. Reach into space if your arm allows. If not, arm can be back. Okay. Kick your foot into your hand or your strap. Stabilize. Open the heart. So no matter what's happening with your arms, can you open across your chest as you find dancer pose? These one-legged poses are a little awkward, right? We lose symmetry. Our brain has to focus in unusual ways. So can you find the ease and the breath despite that? All right, and then find your way back up. Put that foot onto the ground. Yield a moment. Ground. Breathe. Detach your ego from balance or from anything in your practice. Okay, root that left foot. Bring your right foot up, grab onto the ankle. If you can't use a strap, use props to support your balance, walls, furniture, whatever you need. Try not to lean into the leg. So you want that hip to hug in, the knee to soften, the foot to ground and yield. Reach the arm up if you're available, out or down if you're not available. Open across the spine, open across the collarbones. Feel the chest rise, kick your foot. Try not to collapse into the lumbar spine. Integrate the ribs. Feel that space, ribs to pelvis. Breathe. Your upper trap doesn't really need to do anything here, so let it go. Notice the weirdness of having all your balance on one little foot. See if you can settle into it. And then come back up 2 feet onto the ground and just loosen that up, shake it out. Free your body up. Find a big, huge breath. Okay. Let's open our arms out to the sides. Okay. You can bend your elbows, put some weight in your hands, hold something precious. Maybe you have one globe, holding 2 earths, maybe holding 2 of your favorite people, maybe holding the balance of our divided country. Just see if you can hold with an open heart. So imagine some weight in your hands. So spread open the collarbones and keep the chest broad. Feel the back body support you. Feel the soft knees. Feel the yielding and the rising. Reach your arms up, circle them around, fold in half. Relax your neck. Place your hands down, I think last plank, so let's step back into it. Hold steady here. Finding the breath in, feeling the engagement on the breath out. All right, let's come all the way down to the ground. So last of the back bends, choose what you want as your most full back bend for the day. You're pretty warmed up in all these ways. So if you want to come into Dhanurasana, heck, you can even come into Urdhva Dhanurasana if you want to flip over onto your back and do a full wheel pose. Only do that if you know what you're doing. Okay, so, but any back bend that feels good to you, you can grab your feet, keep the knees in line with the hips, open your chest, relax the traps. Maybe you're in locust pose, maybe you're in up dog, whatever you're finding. Breathe a few breaths here. Stabilize. Use your core, integrate the ribs, use your glutes. Feel the space between ribs and pelvis. Mostly find your breath. Relax your upper traps. And then release and relax. Put your head straight now, palm over palm, forehead on palm, or on back hand. Okay. Lift up your feet and windshield wiper your knees. All right, we're going to come over onto our backs. So roll right over onto the back. Resist the urge to bring both knees into your chest for a moment. Let's find a twist. Lift your hips and scooch them right. Pick up knees and drop them left. If you need support underneath your shins, like a block, because the twist is too deep, then put a block there. The breathing body, the relaxing body. So we're starting to wind down now. So start to let your body come into that grounding, yielding, restful state. All right, let's pick up the knees. Come back to neutral for a moment. Adjust so that you are even. Bend your knees, feet on the floor. Just have a breath here.
melt into the ground. Let's have another breath here. Pick up your hips and move them left. Pick up your knees and move them right. Find those, kind of make your breath a little loud if you want. Breathe deeply. All right, pick up the knees. Grab a strap if you have one. 2 legs are going to come into the strap. We're going to stretch our hamstrings and glutes on both sides simultaneously. So we're not bringing our knees toward our chest just yet. Straightish legs. They can be bent a little bit. Thigh bones back, long spine. Flex your toes if you want. Stretch up or point your toes or move your feet, whatever feels good. Unwind your left leg onto the ground, right leg in the strap. And experiment. Do you want to open up your right leg out to the right? And pick that leg back up and move your leg to the left. All right, come back up. Put your left foot in the strap, 2 feet in the strap for a moment. And then when you're ready, right leg on the ground. So you can straighten the right leg, or if your pelvis needs more support, you can put your right foot on the ground with your knee bent. Stretch the left foot up, root the left hip down. Open the left leg out to the left. Melt your body. And then lift that leg up. Take the strap into the right hand. Left leg crosses over the midline to the right. Hip away from shoulder. Stretch through foot. Lift that leg straight up and take the strap off. Have a breath with feet on the ground or legs straight for a moment. We've got a couple more stretches to do before Shavasana, but start to feel the melting. Pick up your feet or knees, put your feet on the ground, right foot on left knee, reverse pigeon pose. You can always cross thigh over thigh instead. You can grab behind your hamstring in front of your shin. You can have one hand on each knee. Whatever is your favorite way. If you want to move, move. If you want to be still, still. If you want to put your foot on furniture so your upper body can completely rest, that's great too. Stay in your breath. Stay in the yielding. Let's go ahead and put our feet down onto the ground. And then change sides. Left foot on right knee or cross thigh over thigh. And you can put your right foot on a piece of furniture so your upper body doesn't need to do anything, or a wall. Or you can reach and interlace your hands. Try them the weird way. Interlace your hands the weird way behind your hamstring or the front of your shin. Be mindful of what your left foot is doing. So stretch the big toe and the inner heel, erase your little wrinkles in your inner ankle. And then experiment with any movement that you want, left and right, maybe anterior, posterior tilting of the pelvis. find the spots where the subtleties of stretching your hip. Put your feet on the ground. Find your breath here one more time. And then let's come into happy baby pose. So hold your feet. Now you get to deeply flex. Feel free to rock. If this is too deep for your body, just bring your knees to your chest. Maybe your knees want to come to your chest and you want to pick your head up. So just experiment for this last little bit before Shavasana. What does your body need? And then as you find your way to Shavasana, experiment with that too. Do you want a lot of support underneath your knees? You can, put your calves up on a chair or a couch. Do you want to have support like blocks and blankets underneath your knees? Would you rather lie flat? Do you need something under your head? How are your shoulders? Do they need any support? So practice the art of tailoring your Shavasana for the moment at hand. What does your body need right now? And as you fall into the restfulness of Shavasana, realize it's a gift. It's a beautiful gift. So one more time, steep yourself in hope and gratitude. Let these forces feed you as you rest. Feel supported by the earth. Feel the blanket of gravity over you. Melt your limbs. Melt the center line of the spine. Melt your eyes. Feel the jaw come into a state of rest. Can you be at ease everywhere? Just breathing.
Let's begin to deepen our breathing again. Relish in your breath, both the inhale and the exhale. And maybe you can have a little wish of hope on your inhale. Think of something hopeful. And on your exhale, something of gratitude. It's fine movement. So anything that feels good in your body. Find that sense of little teeny bits like fingers and toes, or maybe much bigger movements in the body, whichever feels good. Let's find our way gently, slowly onto our side. Take care as you pick yourself up. Come to a comfortable seat. Offer your hope and your gratitude outward. Share that beautiful energy with someone. Send your love, your care outward. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.